uh, Home Depot is, as retailers go, is actually incredibly advanced. They have a very large team of scientists and engineers working on machine learning and recommendations. And by the way, everything that I'm going to say now was already published. We just had a paper accepted for presentation at Rexis this year on all of our journey, chronicling, everything. It's actually called From the Lab to Production. And chronicles our entire journey from getting the data to launching a live service, right? To just to get to give you a spoiler, all right? We ended up launching from the second they started engaging with us until the launch in production was less than 2 months. And they ended up seeing a bump of about, I think it was 18% lift in revenue per recommendation, which I can't say I can't say the absolute numbers, but you can imagine that for a retailer the size of Home Depot, it's a lot of money and a lot of user engagement that they truly highly care about, okay? Rolling back the clock for a second, a year prior in the same conference in Rexis, there was a paper called, I forget how it's called, but it named its a model stamp, which tries to show how to create these vector embeddings for users and recommendation cards, which are shopping carts, such that it weighs recent objects and old objects differently and does a really good job at kind of mixing those different intents of shoppers, right? And Home Depot took that in and tried it in-house and figured that that has a very, very high probability of having a good yield if they launch into production. The engineering team said, hey, you're going to generate these many millions of vectors. You're going to try to answer like nearest neighbor queries on them, actually max.product queries on them in milliseconds, hundreds of times a second. This thing is going to have to be monitored and up and duplicated and replicated, at which point the head of the recommendation engines came to me and said, this is insanity. Can you guys do this? And I said, of course, that's our bread, that's our bread and butter, yeah, that's what we do, right? And so we basically got a POC up and running in like a couple of weeks, and we were in A/B testing in less than 2 months. And in the A/B test, in the period of 2 weeks, on a fraction of their traffic, they actually made enough excess revenue to pay for our entire services for 2 years. Okay.